Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Today we're going to take some lessons from the Quran to try to bring some benefit of how one should read their Quran and how they should take from it. And Bismillah Allah Ta'ala, just how to be able to take from it and manifest it into your life. And take heed to the warnings, the commandments, the promises, and the promises as in like the threats. And just different things that we should leave from it. So I'm going to use, because a lot of people, they have English Qurans. So I'm going to use an all English Quran. This is the clear Quran, the English version. They do have these with Arabic in them. I do use the Noble as well, and other ones, but I like this particular one. I like to look at both of them. Plus, I deal with a lot of tafsirs, and like I say, this is just for the purposes of discussing different lessons from the Quran. So, we're going to do Surah 23, the believers. This is a Meccan surah, right? This was revealed in Mecca. So we'll just go on with it, right? So Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. First, it start off with the qualities of the true believers, the mu'min. So it states, successful indeed are the believers. So that should grasp you right there. We can't cloak the term believers under one who has accepted Islam, because in the Arabic terms you have the term mu'min, right, which is different than a Muslim. A Muslim has accepted Islam, right? You can believe that Islam is the truth, right? But a mu'min is the one that has the right type of iman, the right type of belief system in their heart, where Islam is a part of their actions. But I'm saying that to say, because some people who don't pray, don't fast, do whatever they want to do under the sun, have girlfriends, have boyfriends, just whatever. And because they read the English in the Quran where it say believers, they automatically cloak themselves to that label because they took Shahada. So one who believes in Islam and a believer technically aren't the exact same thing. So check this out right here. So these are the ones who are successful, the mu'min, the true believers, right? Successful indeed are the believers. Now here come the characteristics. 1, those who humble themselves in prayer. Humbling yourself in prayer is preparing yourself to talk to Allah Ta'ala and having some form of khushu. You understand? So you got to work on trying your best to humble yourself in salah and prepare yourself to really talk to Allah Azza wa Jal. Salah is a form of worship. You worship in Allah. So you need to take heed that because you can't see Allah, you have to be aware that Allah can see you. So those who humble themselves in prayer, this is dua, this is salah, you understand? And all those things. So the next characteristic is those who avoid idle, vain, useless, corrupt, no good speech. That's unnecessary conversations with people about things that's not no benefit in this life or the next. So it says they avoided talking about the fights that was just anything, just useless, vain, corrupted speech and conversations being had to try to turn this person against that person, right? I feel some way towards that person. The way I feel might be a little bit of jealousy because I want to be how they are, or they have some things that I don't have, but we may have some mutual friends or some mutual family members. Now, as I'm talking to them, I want to make them feel the way that I feel about that person. This is vain, useless speech, and there's no good in it. You see what I'm saying? So, these are the successful. Those who humble themselves in prayer, dua, salah. Those who avoid idle, wicked, vain, useless, corruptive speech, right? Those who, and then the next characteristic is those who give charity, zakat, sadaqah, and then when you go in to look at the things, the whole list of zakat, of what things should be paid on. See, this is the beauty of it. Zakat is to be paid on a person's wealth. That doesn't necessarily just mean money. So some are going to this, if you had this amount of money in the bank, yes, there's zakat owed on that money. But why you think during the days of the Rasul, if you had this many camel, you paid on this. If you had this many date palm trees, you paid from this. So when you go and look at the rulings on zakat, you pay zakat on, you could pay, like, let's say you own a store, and whatever, everything in that store is considered to be wealth, whether you sold it or not. Do you know it's from the rulings that you have to pay zakat off the amount of that stuff that you owe in that store? If you have a certain amount of cars, you got to pay zakat off of that. If you got a whole bunch of useless clothes, zakat off of that. If you own a whole bunch of houses that bring income, you got to pay zakat off that. Zakat is based off of your wealth. Wealth is everything in general, not just money. Anybody, and all you got to do is just go and look into it. Go look at the hadiths, so it break things down, even down to like the dollar amount if it's money. And unfortunately, some people mix the ruling of if you own 10 cows, right? If a person owned 10 cows and each cow was $1,000 a piece, that's equivalent to $10,000, right? So what they'll say is, so if you don't have $10,000 in the bank for a whole year, you don't have to pay zakat. That's not accurate. So they mix rulings with a dollar amount for specific animals, right? Because they want to put it to a dollar amount and then apply it to what they have in their bank account and say, I don't have to pay zakat. So, and just go look into it. I'm trying to be brief because I'm really getting ready to go to work, and I was just going through some things, so I decided to just give some lessons from the Quran that we should take heed from. Because if we want to be amongst the successful, we have to be the ones who humble ourselves in salah. We got to avoid vain, idle, useless, unnecessary, corrupted type of speech and conversations, man. And then we got to pay that zakat, give sadaqah properly, right? And then the fifth characteristic, so that's one, humble yourself in prayer. 2, avoid the wrong type of speech, right? Indulging in the wrong type of conversations and even listening to them. 3, we got to pay that zakat. We got to pay that sadaqah. We got to give sadaqah, right? We just got to be giving type of people, right? Then that 4th one is those who guard their chastity. Now, I'm glad this part is in here because now look at the next ayat after, right? Before I explain. Those who guard themselves in chastity except with their wives or those bondswomen in their possession. For then they are free from blame. Now the reason why I wanted to read that next ayat was because this lets you know this also refers to men. Because you have a specific group of individuals in America that teach to be chaste means a woman has to be a virgin. So like even sometimes when, and they love to throw this up, even when, let's say a Muslim man marries a non-Muslim woman that fits the criteria, certain individuals will come in and say, you still can't marry her because she's not a virgin. She didn't guard her chastity. So when you look at the Quran al-Karim, even in English, guarding your chastity, being chaste. Being chaste means guarding your chastity. So this was a verse that's referring to the men, and it isn't referring to one who is a virgin. So this isn't something, guarding your chaste, being chaste is not something that just refers to Muslim women. You understand? So, and it don't mean that a person is a virgin. So that I wanted to just speak on that small part because people have corrupted that meaning. Now, yes, a person who is a virgin and trying to remain a virgin, that is a chaste person, male or female. But then when a person is married and they're not having the type of sex that's considered illegal in Islam, that's why some translations you will see where it says illegal sexual intercourse. They're having sex with the people that is permissible for them to have with legally. That's part of being chaste. That's part of guarding your chastity. Because like it say, if you haven't, for the men, if you having sex with these particular people, then you free from blame. Means what? You're guarding your chastity. You being chaste. With the women, you sticking only to messing with your husband, the person it's legal for you to have sex with. You know what I'm saying? Not tiptoeing. Because unfortunately, tiptoeing happens. Unfortunately. Not being unmarried and you tiptoeing. Unfortunately, tiptoeing does happen. So, that's not guarding your chastity. So, successful, right, are the believers. Those who humble themselves in prayer. Those who avoid the wrong, indulging in and listening to the wrong type of conversations and speech. Those who give sadaqah, pay zakat, and just give, period. Like giving a neighbor some bread. You know, you have children and they've outgrown possibly little books or different things you bought them, and then you give those toys or books or whatever those things, even clothes, shoes, and then you give those to somebody else that can use them. All of this falls in that category, right? So those who do that, and then the male and the female who guards their chastity, right? So this is showing you who the successful will be. But then it comes in with the next. But whosoever seeks beyond that, they transgressors. And you don't want to be a transgressor in Islam. Seeking beyond that, having illegal sexual intercourse. Overindulging in useless, vain, corrupted type conversations and speech. Not humbling yourself in salah. And you really don't give any type of real sadaqah fi sabilillah. You may give a few things to somebody because they may be somebody that do for you. This person give me rides to work. So, I'll let their kids have some stuff my kids don't want. Type of thing. You see what I'm saying? So you don't want to transgress these things. Then it says the believers are those who are true to their trust and covenants. So you're a trustworthy person, not to just the people that's your family, your children, your spouse. You trustworthy towards the kafir when you go into the grocery store. You trustworthy towards your non-Muslim neighbor. And then you also keep your covenants. That's as in, they're using the word covenant, or oaths. So you keep your promises. If you tell somebody you're going to do something for them, then you do it. And you don't give somebody empty promises based off of getting something from them before you do what they're supposed to do for you. You're supposed to do for them. As in, like, in this dunya. Right? And unfortunately, some of the Muslims fall into this. You like a female. She got an important interview coming up next week. And she needs you for a ride. Right? It's Monday. And her interview is next Tuesday. And you tell her, I'm going to give you a ride. So, due to her wanting this ride and needing this ride, now she might let you all in her world. Now y'all might be, quote unquote, doing a Netflix and chill or the Tubi and chill. You over there eating chicken and macaronis with biscuits and green beans and all type of different stuff all in her world. And she's allowing you to be in her world because she needs that ride. And now y'all fall into some things. But you done held this ride over her head so you can get in the door. And then when Tuesday come, you ain't even there for her. you done backed out on giving her the ride. But even if you not sliding into her world and using that as something to hang over their head to get in their world, you know you wasn't going to be there from them in the beginning. So this is like a promise. This is a covenant. This is an oath. You said you was going to do something. You, the believers, are the ones that stay true to their trust and the true to their oath. If somebody give you something, hey, hold on to this for me. You have to be trustworthy, right? And then it says, and those who are properly observant of their prayer. Properly observant of your prayer. Not being neglectful with your salat. I'll pray when I feel like it. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel like praying today, so I'll pray tomorrow. Or maybe the day after that. This isn't properly being observant of your prayer. But the ones who stick to these things, it says, these are the ones who will be awarded. Right? You're going to get a reward from these things from Allah in this life, because one of the major rewards is you can become one of the people that Allah feels a way about, to the point where they give you an understanding of this religion, and they give you're given, and Allah gives you an understanding of this religion, and He gives you ease in this life. One of the punishments from Allah is that you can lose your deen in this life and don't even know that you're not on Allah's way. You've been blinded, right? So some of the awards or the rewards in the next life will be they will be given a paradise as if it's their own. You understand? They'll be given a paradise, genital firdaus, or just other areas of paradise as if it is your own, where you could just live out freely, like you in your own home. Okay? And then it says, and they will be there forever. So that's one of the first lessons that I wanted to touch on for the Quran. And let's start to be more mindful of and getting better at having these type of characteristics. So let's go through them one more time, and then I'm going to end this so I can go to work, right? 1, successful indeed. So 1, you got to be the true believer, the mu'min. 2, humble yourself in your prayer. 3, avoid the wrong type of conversations, listening and indulging in them, right? The wrong speech. 4, get that sadaqah out, get that zakat out. Just be a giving person from anything that you have that you really just not in use of. Books, clothes, food, money, time, knowledge. That's why you see some students of knowledge, they pay zakat on their ilm by doing YouTube for free, teaching from books for free. They paying zakat on their ilm. Then the next one is guard your chastity, male and female, and it doesn't mean be a virgin, right? Then don't transgress, right? Don't be a transgressor, and stay true to your trust and your promises. Be a person that can be trusted by everybody, not just your family, not just your friends, not this family that I like and this family that I don't like. You good, but I'll snake them. Nah. You know what I'm saying? Some people, unfortunately, you got individuals right now that'll snake their wife. You got individuals that'll snake their husband. You know, I know right now some Muslim sisters that live in Section 8 and low-income housing, and they got Muslim men paying them $700-800 a month for rent, and they rent like ain't even $100. That's snaking your husband. You know what I'm saying? You're not trustworthy. So, and those who properly observe their prayers. So we also want to be very observant of our salat. Very observant of our salat. You know, some of the things that I heard containing this is like, you're mindful of your salat before the adhan is called. Like, okay, the adhan gonna be called in 10 minutes. Let me go and get in salat and wudu and everything right now. I want to be in the line when the adhan is called. Not sitting around chilling, the adhan go off. Oh wow. I ain't even know it was time for prayer. I ain't even made the last one. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to be that if you can help it. These is things that we need to work on. So like I say, the ones who are able to do this, and this is what Allah is telling you, the ones who do this, they're going to be rewarded with a paradise, a portion of paradise in Jannah that is like it's their own. You get your own piece of Jannah. You ain't got to pay rent. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to go buy food. You ain't got to buy beds. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to spend gas monies. You in Jannah, man. A portion that is as if it's your very own. You can do as you please. You know what I'm saying? And you'll be there forever. And you'll be there forever. So that's just one of the lessons from the Quran. inshallah, we can all benefit from it, take heed to it, ponder on it, reflect on it, because you may, like I said, this is Surah 23, and this is the ayats, depending on the translations you have, ayat 1 through 11. So if you want to go look at them, if you want to dig into some tafsirs of them, and sit down and ponder and reflect, and then apply your own personal experiences and take these in and say, what can I do to be better? What can I stop doing to avoid being taken out of this small category? What can I do and start doing to be put in this category? I want Jannah, because that's the ultimate goal, right? These are the ones that's going to be successful. That doesn't mean successful as in you may have all the cars and clothes and money and women, or the, you know, for the women, the men that they want, and these different things that's real dunya related that you put your deen on the back burner to get. That doesn't mean successful. You know what I'm saying? That's the dunya. We talking about successful to the point where you can get some good in this life and have some ease, but you get that Jannah, man. So go look at it, read it for yourself, tadabbur, sit down and reflect and think and analyze these ayats and go over them in your head, and then try to stay mindful of them every day. Even get you like a whiteboard, or get you a notepad and some paper, and write down each one of these things and keep it in your pocket or something in your house, and look at it every day and say, these particular things right here, I'm going to do something from this list, if not all of it, every day. Every day. And then go look for different things in the Quran to put into implementations. Look at the hadiths that go along with these things. How to get the khushu and humble yourself in a prayer. How to avoid what's vain speech. Because sometimes you can have Islamic conversations that fall in the wrong category. It's even in your Quran. If you sit down listening to some people saying the wrong things about the Quran, about the Prophet's messenger, Allah's messenger, alayhi salam, and some of the people from the best generations, and just different things, sometimes these conversations aren't good. Sometimes people be making up stuff. Sometimes people be calling to themselves, so they put a spin and some corruption on the conversation to almost to the point where you worship them. Quran say do this. Hadith say do this. But Fulan said we ain't greeting nobody that beard ain't big enough. We ain't greeting no sisters that got color on. Right? That's tabarruj. Now I'm gonna touch something real small before I end out about tabarruj. But Quran may say greet those who you know and those who you don't know. Don't look at what color they got on. Don't look at what masjid they go to. Don't look at all these reasons to not give a person salams. And then look at the hadiths that go with that. The biggest reward goes to the person that gives the salam first. And then if you say the assalamu alaikum and then the rahmatullahi wa barakatuh and the things that go on, the more and more that you add on to that, the greater your deeds is. If you add the rahmatullahi wa barakatuh and different things, you really only losing out on that. Then you might get held accountable for not repping Islam the way that it's supposed to be represented, by not salaming your brother or your sister over something that's extremely trivial, where you can't go find that this is what's supposed to be done. Now, when they talk about tabarruj, let's say a sister say, I want a husband, right? So At this particular masjid that I go to, the brothers only like sisters that wear all black. The brothers only like sisters that cover their face. The brothers only like sisters that wear black gloves also. Right? So in order for me to be attractive to the brothers, I have to dress this way. So let me put this on because the brothers like sisters that dress like this. Now you basically what you're doing? You're beautifying yourself to the eyes of those particular brothers. That's not tabarruj. It don't matter if it's all black. It don't matter if it's all blue. It don't matter if it's all dark colors. If you doing it. Because that's what the brothers like. And you trying to attract the brothers. Because what they say, oh, they only putting colors on because they trying to be noticed. Oh, they got this color on so they can stand out. Sometimes sisters is wearing all black and niqabbing up, trying to be noticed also. Just because it's all black doesn't change the fact. So if that is the case, it's tabarruj. It's tabarruj. If they finna go out of town and go somewhere and they finna go to a masjid and brothers don't particularly care for that look, they gonna dress differently. Not all sisters, but I'm saying some sisters, but in their head, it's not tabarruj because it's all black and it's not a hint of pink in it. So we need to be careful, man, about some of these things that we fallen into. Go look into what the true definition, like to some people, is tabarruj is trying to adorn yourself to be seen, to be noticed, to stand out where people see you. Some of the definitions that they look, beautifying yourself. Some places in some buildings, wearing all black is beautifying yourself. With the ones who sit and I'm saying this because I've heard people say this out of their own mouth. The brothers like sisters that wear all black. I want a hug. I'm trying to get married. Sister, that's tabarruj. You know what I'm saying? If you go to this other masjid and they don't mind colors and they feel like this, and that, you gonna rock that to go to the other masjid? Yeah. You beautifying yourself to get a husband. Or you beautifying yourself to get noticed by men. That's tabarruj. So don't trick yourself in thinking just because you're doing the exact same thing as the sister with a little bit of pink in her outfit and yours is all black, but the mentality is the exact same thing, then it's still tabarruj. So inshallah, bi'idhnillah ta'ala, we can all benefit today. And like I say, go reflect on this, dig deeper into it, look at some of the Arabic, if you're able to read Arabic. Like I said, I'm using the all English Quran because of some of the people that I know that's in this particular community, and they don't, sometimes you got to meet people where they are, and they don't really have books or tafsir, so sometimes this is extracting some of the things that should be gotten from this if you can't get it. So reflect on it, go read it for yourself and look into it and just get to it. But it's time for Asr. So assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Any mistakes I made came from myself and the shaitan. Anything I said that was correct came from Allah Azza wa Jal al-Muqtadir al-Alim. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.